please. Thank you, Marty DeGarmo. Hey guys, welcome to the first OBLESS brainstorming. We're going to continue these every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Welcome. I can see that there's a lot of people in the ONPASSIVE family and some new ones that just joined today. Very excited about that. Let me lay just a couple things down, what I'd like to talk about. I've heard many stories in the last year and a half about what you've done, helping people out, and that's beautiful. I love it. This is what it's not going to be about tonight. What we're looking for is solutions. We're looking for answers. We're looking how to manage OBLESS. I do have a special guest speaker on here tonight, and I will get that, but I'm going to, like I said, I want to get to everyone's hands that has an idea. That's what about. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to kind of make a little bit of board game out of this. My goal in mind is for have us to build a city, a virtual reality city, where in that city, we want to know what you have to offer that city to fight poverty, homelessness, everything that goes along with that. So in this city building, what I'm going to say, we're going to manage everything that we think needs to go in this city from all your help. No one's going to have a bad idea. Every idea is welcome. And we're going to document the stuff through the recording because Peter Shore is our notes guy and he's not here and I can't even read my own writing. So, but I will go over each recording and we'll go from there. But the whole goal here is to hear brand new ideas. Ash Mafara has said it many times, we're a unique company. Okay. We do things different, like nothing you've ever seen before. And that's what he's looking for. He did lay some of his own ideas, how he kind of wants to do it, like an automation. You know, we get one person to the front door and when they leave the back door, everything's all set. I would love for that to be true. So I thought, well, I know we're going to deal with, there's 1.6 billion people right now that have inadequate homes or no homes. It's really horrendous. They predict by 2050, and I'm looking at my notes, that's going to go up to 3 billion people, okay? We need to stop that. And I believe OBLESS will, with everyone's dedication, hard work. There's people out there every day, all over the world, that need our help, that need OBLESS. We all need OBLESS. My main goal, one of my main goals is to get every single business that I can involved with OBLESS. All right. Every person in the world that I can, and you can, and let them know about OBLESS, what it's really going to do. The young lady that I have on here tonight is coming from a pretty big company with a lot of really cool ideas, and that's what we're looking for. Next, each week I'm going to have someone different on here telling us what they can help us with, what they can bring to the table for this city we're going to build. I'm looking for everything: education, mental health, healthcare. Let me give you just a quick idea, and then I'm going to start this up. I did some study in the last few days about root causes of poverty. And this is what I found. And there's a lot more. I know that. Lack of good jobs, lack of good education, warfare, conflicts, weather, climate change, social injustice, lack of food and water, lack of infrastructure. And that's something that we're going to talk about tonight. Lack of government support. I'm not a big fan of that one, but I believe we have ONPASSIVE support. Lack of good health care. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. High cost of everything. Example, I was talking to Julie Wen today. She was putting gas in her car and the gas was a little over $5 a gallon, California. To me, that's horrible, especially a person that doesn't make a lot of money to start, can't even afford to put gas in their car to get to work. Another thing OBLESS I think is going to help out. Low productivity, underutilized resources, big discussion. So in order to build this city, we're going to look at a map. And on this map, let's just say, well, we're going to start it in Michigan, but we can use this map that we're going to use for the city anywhere in the world. Okay, it's a blank slate. It doesn't have houses. It doesn't have electricity. It doesn't have water. Now it's up to us It's up to us to build this city where those three things are resources. So we got to look for resources. And the young lady that I'm going to bring on here in a couple of minutes, she's going to talk about infrastructure and what her company does. And remember, that's the goal. Everyone's going to get to talk on here, but I want to bring on some key people that actually are part of building homes anywhere in the world. You know, Ash Mafar talks about the 3D printing housing. Very cool. I believe this young lady will be talking about a whole different way of doing it. I loved it when I heard it from Mr. Jake, and I'm going to have him introduce her in a minute. To break it down from what I was talking with Jake is basically these homes can be built real simple, real fast. And when you're talking about 3D printing, which we're definitely going to use, I guarantee that, this is something where a company can send pretty much material just about anywhere in the world, and anyone could build these houses, and I'll let them break that down. So on that note, I want to welcome you all again. Please let Miss Feline, if I say it proper. Jake, you want to introduce her? And once Feline's done, we'll go into discussion about what you're going to contribute to the city that we're going to all build together. Thank you. Jake Fish, you want to unmute yourself? Jake Fish, you out there? Where'd you go, man? You didn't go back in the water, did you? With a name like Jake Fish, you would think he's a swimmer. He's actually a skier.
No, I did not. My Zoom keeps cutting out on me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, brother. How you doing, Jake? Uh-oh.
I'm doing fine. Doing great, actually.
Hey, Jake, do you want to try to turn your camera off and it might come in better? Jake, do you want to turn your camera off and maybe it'll make your volume or your sound a lot better?
Hello.
Oh, Jake. We lost Jake. All right. I'm going to introduce this lady because Lynn, if you see Jake, try to get back on, bring him on. Ms. Feline, if you can unmute your microphone, I would love to hear from you and your ideas and also the stuff that the company offers. Uh-oh, he's back. Jake, did you come back?
I got only half of it.
Jake, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off your video, okay, Jake, so that your sound can go through. Clearly.
Yeah. Okay. Feline and I have known each other for about 10 years, working together with
Jake, you're cutting off, buddy. Feline, if you'd like to just unmute yourself, hopefully you have a good internet connection, and we'll get back to Jake. Lynn, do you see Feline, Lynn?
Yeah, she's unmuted.
Okay. Feline, if you're unmuted, you go ahead right ahead and talk. All right, this never goes as planned, does it?
Okay, I'm back. I had to change locations and get closer to the router. Feline and I have known each other for about 10 years. We met when I was working with the Green Builders Institute. And Feline had a marvelous idea of doing agriculture, but in a controlled environment. And we were thinking, can you mega size that? I mean, like huge. And she said, of course we can. So instead of me explaining everything, I would love it if, you know, Feline, she's the expert at agriculture or farms in a box, if you would say. And it can be controlled, you know, remotely. at everything. So I'll just let her tell you what she can do. She is amazing.
Thank you, Jake. I believe she's unmuted, but we're not hearing her. Feline? Hey, Jake, unmute yourself, buddy.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Hey, Jake, Feline is actually unmuted, but we're not hearing anything come out of her microphone.
Let me send her a message.
Okay. All right. While Jake is doing that, let's keep this going. Remember, every good deed we do never goes unnoticed. You know, on our last day, we can't take nothing with us. You don't see many hearse with a U-Haul behind them. And what's the best thing to do is leave a mark. Let people know what you did. Pass it on to your children and your children's children, and keep this going. I truly believe that will change the world. I know a lot of you do. I know a lot of you do this stuff already, which I'm very thankful for. And it's going to be, to me, and it's going to be the hardest job I ever took on, but the most rewarding. And I know that I want to do this 100%. And I know I have a lot of people in this ONPASSIVE family that has contributed in many ways already to OBLESS. They just don't really know it yet. By getting on a Zoom and letting us know how you feel. It's not necessarily always about the money, but it's about what you can do with the money. Remember, money can't solve problems. People are the problem solvers. Okay, you can give someone $1, but it doesn't really solve the problem. And that's what's happened in the last 100 years. Many foundations out there help many people out. And we still have this world hunger problem. So I think when I start studying it a little bit more, I understand why. A lot of it is because they don't have the funds. A lot of it, we have crooked foundations out there, and they make the other foundations look bad. We are never, promise yourself, we're never ever going to take advantage of OBLESS. OBLESS is going to be there for anyone that needs it 100% and 100% of the time. No matter wherever you have good, someone evil is going to come in and try to change it or do whatever they can for them. This isn't about any one of us. This is about all of us. And this is definitely about changing the world for the better. I've got many emails this week. I've called many people, talked to them about their ideas. Really good ideas. I'm hoping to hear some of those tonight. And I'm tap dancing here because Jake, how we doing?
I sent her a direct message. So
I'm sure she can hear us.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Jake, why don't you try to call her, and if someone wants to raise their hand and tell me about an idea they have to help build this city, and it's called City of Angels, and we do have a mayor in this city. Okay, guess who that mayor is? Nope, it's not me. Nope, it's not anybody. The mayor is called OBLESS, which represents everyone. Everyone's going to have a say. Everyone's going to be able to take action. There's not one person that's going to control one thing or the other. We're all going to agree, and we're going to conquer this. I believe so. William Norris, go ahead and unmute yourself, and let's hear what you got, buddy.
Hey, Chris, can you hear me, buddy?
Loud and clear, my brother.
Cool deal. I started brainstorming about this thing whenever you mentioned it, and I think I have some things that we can all do personally. I know OBLESS is going to be, the bigger picture here, but I also know that we can, boost this thing with personal efforts. And Ash is already setting that. He's already setting that pace on a regular basis. So I think in excess of the fundamentally group help locally and worldwide, I think we can do some things that'll make a difference. First thing we got to remember is ONPASSIVE will monetarily sustain us to do what I'm talking about here. I think each member needs to take the personal, take it personal. We're a small local group. Take the responsibility to find at least one person, one at a time, or family at a time, and not only help them financially, but in any area that they need, you know, help. I mean, there's a lot of things, like you said, a lot of things that need to be done that money's not going to do. Number one, we can put these people into ONPASSIVE, even if we have to pay for the subscription. I mean, like I said, ONPASSIVE is going to equip us to do this. So, I mean, we can put that person into ONPASSIVE and, you know, make sure that they have some income at some point. You know, we can help with the residency. We can help with food, home maintenance, mortgages and rent, any of the personal things that people need. And most of the time, if you talk with a person a little bit, you'll find out reasonably quick where they're lacking and what they need. And the reason I know that is I'm doing that now. I have a family that, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now. I have a family that they need help, and I help them when I can. You know, it's not something that they depend on, but it's something that I do on a regular basis. And, you know, it just, I see it makes a difference in their life. Another thing is, you know, a lot of people need some educational help with computer or informational stuff, like, you know, things that has to be done with ONPASSIVE. I mean, you got to know a certain amount about a computer to be able to do the account functions, understanding the products, moving funds, any kind of activity that, you know, that you're going to actually do on a computer. And then there's, you know, the health and medical field. I mean, there's always somebody needing some help in that department too. And you say, well, do we have the time to do this? Absolutely, we got time to do it. We can make time to do it. Get out of our comfort zone for a few minutes. Every member in ONPASSIVE can do this. And, you know, once we move that person or that family into the light, so to speak, or have them on their feet, we find somebody else, find another family, find another person. And by doing this, you know, we can actually accelerate what OBLESS is set out to do, because we're going to be duplicating our efforts with these personal, you know, assertions. On the Julie and Milo show on Saturday, at the end of the show, Milo sang a very fitting song for, you know, ONPASSIVE and OBLESS. And he sang, "I Did It My Way." And that was about a legendary Frank Sinatra, who is, you know, he's probably world known. So, you know, we can do this thing. We can do it our way. And we can help ONPASSIVE, you know, we can help with all kind of avenues. You know, this thing will work. We just have to apply ourselves. Like I said, get out of that comfort zone, do things that we don't normally do. Or if we've been doing it, you know, maybe just keep doing it. Because it'll make a difference.
William?
Yes, sir.
That's all good. Let me ask you this question again. What is William Norris going to contribute to this city we're going to build to fight poverty? Tell me something that you want to do. What are you going to bring to the table for this city?
Well, you know, as I mentioned to you earlier on about what my capabilities are, and that still holds true. I mean, you have my resume, you see what I can do, and I'll be glad to help out in the housing part, you know, the building, anything to do with the, you know, the prep for it, because you got to pull permits, you got to deal with engineers, you got to deal with paperwork, and that's always, you know, a hassle. You got an environmental impact that you got to look out for. You have to do the paperwork, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
William, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well noted. I do have your credentials. Looking forward to build this wonderful city of angels with you, my brother. Thank you
Thanks,
very
sir.
much. Engineer Mike, go ahead and unmute yourself, please. Tell us what you got. What can you contribute to this wonderful city?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good evening, our leaders and everybody, leaders from all over the world. My name is Michael Ojong-Tambia. I'm a petroleum engineer. I'm a civil engineer. And I'm a Red Hat certified Linux system administrator. I've been working like for 21 years in the field. I started off with road construction. Then I went to the drilling rigs. I was a rig drilling engineer. Then I went on to be a completion engineer on the rigs. Then now I'm a Red Hat certified Linux system administrator, and I'm an instructor. I've been teaching Linux for more than 6 years. I am certified. So talking about that, in road construction, I did the road that leads in Houston. If you know about the Houston, we have the Houston Toll Road and the West Park Toll Road. I worked in the inspection of that road for construction materials. Then I went on to Africa, then came back here. So I know a lot of people will bring a lot. So talking about the construction, I will be on the field, the measurements, the diameters, the whatever we want to take, I will be on the field with my white hat to giving my support in that city physically. Then again, being a Red Hat certified Linux admin and a certified instructor, I would like the people who are displaced, the people who have displaced, and they will bring them down to that city. I will teach them Linux for free. Okay, I'll offer them Linux classes for free. Okay, so it is a 6 months course. Within that 6 months, I will tutor them, then build them their resumes, teach them how to build those resumes, and teach them interview preparations, then also teach them how to get a certification exam. If you type on your computer now or your phone, check Linux system administrator's job near me, you see how many you have. It starts between $85,000 and $120 for 1 year. That's what they can get. So I'm bringing these skills to teach them to get a career. Thank you very much, Matt, for giving me this opportunity. Chris.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, Engineer Mike. Great. That's great. Noted, Michael. Thank you very much. Looking forward to working forward you in this city. Abram, you'd like to unmute yourself, please? Tell us what you bring to this table.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, because it's after 2 already in Bamako in Mali. I'm in Mali in West Africa. Going straight to the point. First, I understand that I'm a dweller of that city. I know what are the difficulties we are encountering. So what I will suggest is, as we need to implement change, to lead and to manage change, I will not invent anything. Inspired by, a well-known change leader, John Cotter, I would inspire the inhabitants of this city to implement the 8 steps of change management in that city. And what is this all about? One, there should be a sense of emergency. If I don't understand that it is urgent, it's important for me to change the situation, then I will not go for any change. Immediately I understand that there's need for change to be implemented. The second thing I will do is I will try to build a coalition, those with whom I want to change the situation. And there's a specific way of selecting those with whom we want to carry this change. From there, we develop a vision. What is our vision? How do we see Los Angeles, say in 5, 10, 15, or 20 years to come? And from there, we communicate our vision, both with the sectors with whom we want to carry on the change, or with all those who are not working necessarily in the sector, but may have a role to play. Immediately we have this internal and external communication. We try to identify what are the barriers, all those who will fight against us, who will not be satisfied that we are moving to this vision. And there are different forms of barriers. If we don't take care of barriers, our results will be very much mitigated. Immediately we identify the barriers, we give ourselves small, attainable targets, what we call small victories, things we can manage, things we can realize. In a short range of time, with the resources that we have, and immediately we have them, it will bring all those who are skeptical, those who don't believe in our vision, in our effort, it would make them understand that with some effort, some results can be attained. And immediately we attain those results, we need to compensate all those who contribute in attaining those results, so that they should be satisfied, they should do more, and those who don't believe in what we want to do, they would understand that those who participate are compensated. And after compensating all those who play a role in attaining these results, what we should do now is try to institute, make sure that the new way of doing becomes a culture. So in a nutshell, Chris, I think through this, I would say this method, no matter the sector in which we want to bring the change, it can be agriculture, it can be energy, it can be health, it can be environmental issues, as you say. I think that this is a tool, well-structured tool, which we can use. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Abraham. Well noted. Looking forward to working forward with you. Guys, so what we're here, let me get you back on track here. All right. So this city that we're building, the City of Angels, what we're building, we already know we talked to an engineer. We talked to a construction contractor. So we're looking at those two guys working together and maybe putting some roads and foundations in this city. Dr. Bill, you're next. Give me 1 second. So here's what I'm looking for. And it's hard to explain it. Ask Mafar said, if you could push a button to end poverty, what would you do? Okay. Let's get those ideas. Mental health, depression. Why is someone homeless? How did they get there? Education, working as teams. We're not going to be able to put every person through the same door and walk them out the back door. Okay. We're going to need multiple facilities for every different addiction, mental health, depression, all the things that come with poverty. All right. Some of you people in here, I know you have skills, educators, teaching people how to build things, teaching young children, educating young children how to survive, how to grow food, many, many things. Dr. Bill, I know you're in the medical field, and I'm dying to hear what you got to say, Dr. Bill. You go right ahead.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Excellent effort tonight. Glad to see all my friends around the world here. I have a bit of an expertise in the medical field, so I thought I would stick to that tonight. And it just turns out that I was on the board of directors for the Good Samaritan Health Center for 8 years. And we took that thing from a fledgling health center to a dynamic health center with dental coverage as well as medical. And I think we might look at the model that we used. What we found around Atlanta was that there were a lot of failing health centers that people with good intentions tried to run. And they were, by and large, they were free medical clinics, free dental clinics. And they tended not to be able to break even enough to where they could keep their doors open. And so the model of the Good Samaritan Health Center had a low fee model. And when I say low fee, the average cost per visit was like $35 for treatment, medical or dental. And they saw 30,000 patient visits a year and did about $10 million in services rendered to the people that came in. And the people had to qualify as not having insurance and being someone living at the poverty level and having a need. So it was not just for anybody to walk in. So it was a true charity clinic, a low-cost clinic. And I think that model could be the one we would look at, since we would have some donations coming in from Obless. And if you tie people to pay in for their visits a little bit, they keep their appointments. They value what they're getting a lot more than people who get things for free. And so that's a tried and true method that we found worked. And we did $10 million worth of business in the clinic with a small paid staff of doctors and nurses and administrators, and then a lot of volunteers. We were a training center for many of the universities and hospitals to train people, to give them externship experience. And so they were all glad, and everyone was a winner in that situation. So I've got the blueprints, the documentation of how to set up that kind of a clinic. If that was something desired, you could put one of those in a city and serve the basic needs for primary care. And you could enlist specialists to come in on a voluntary basis. You can't afford to bring in a specialist on a full-time basis, but you may find one, a couple of times a month. So we had primary doctors, primary dentists, nurses, PAs, people that were essential for primary care on staff, with an executive director. And you have to have a good executive director to kind of manage the practice. We gave scholarships and charity to people who actually needed it and couldn't afford even the $35 or $40 that it costs to have a treatment. So that might be something available. And we have the blueprint, and that's about what I would suggest is, if it's been done, it's probably possible. And you do not want amateurs trying to run healthcare. That would never work. It's just a boondoggle. So you have to hire experienced help to run medical. And you know how that works. Just like in engineering, you can't just get somebody off the street and say, build me a building. It's got to be precise, measured. And, anytime that we're doing something in the medical realm, it's going to have a lot of HIPAA guidelines, OSHA guidelines, things you got to follow. So that's my input.
Thank you, Dr. Bill. Very good input. Absolutely. We've got to have guidelines. We do got to follow standards. Like I said, we're a blank city. We know we got some roads. We know we got some engineers. We know we got a doctor of dentistry in the house. And it's a start. Dr. Bill, let me ask you a question. Now, how is that going to help poverty?
Well, one of the biggest reasons for people to miss work is medical problems, headaches, toothaches, illnesses of different types. And so for people in dentistry, a lack of a smile prevents people from being hired. If you have a severe gap tooth smile, you might not be on the front line of any business in many countries. If you don't feel good, if you're sick, you're not going to show up at work, and you'll be fired if you don't show up enough. So there's a lot of reasons that healthcare is primary. If your children are sick, your mom may have to stay home with them, can't go to school. She'll be laid off because she's missing work. So healthcare is just a vital part of poverty elimination, by letting people have a job, staying on the workforce.
Very good, Dr. Bill. I agree. And what about in this city, setting up your own clinic to, educate people what dentistry does and the health aspects of it? It sounds like we got another building right there, right?
It is a building. It's about usually that kind of a building is a $3 million capital cost. And then you have about a $2 million annual budget, but you're doing $10 million worth of work. So, you're ahead of the game for what it would cost people on the outside.
Very good. Dr. Bill, thank you for your input. Looking forward to working with you, my brother. All right, Tony, before I call your name, I know, Feline, do you want to try your volume now to see if it works?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are. Welcome, Feline. All right,
Thank
guys, I'm going to put you all on standby. Keep
Welcome,
your hands up.
sister.
Let's see what Feline's got to, she's gonna teach us about structures. I'm really looking forward to hear this, Feline. Glad to have you. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry about the technical problems. So my name is Feline Lehman. I originally was a real estate agent in Florida back in '91, went to work for a real estate developer in Palm Beach County, built 11 hotels with him, some apartment complexes, tough trees, golf courses, just different types of buildings. So I got into real estate development, and when he died in '08, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in '09, and I started looking into phytonutrients and getting healed by food. And I had nothing else to do because I was bald, and I was losing my real estate career, and I lost my real estate developer and all the investment money to continue building. So that's when I met Jake Fish and his brother with Green Builders International, because I was developing and looking for somebody to help me build ponic pods, which are grow rooms that can be mobile or stationary. That developed into very large buildings eventually. So cutting to what I've been doing lately is 55,000 square foot buildings and up mostly. So we put all the systems for all the water, data, all the systems that's needed to grow food in a building. And I've also have experience with tiny homes and building the smaller ones, because through that industry, I've met a lot of manufacturers that are already building tiny homes. So we can have them shipped in like kits. I don't know if they're flat packs, and I don't know if Jake's explained it to everybody, but they can be shipped and assembled on site. And I'd like to see in the future having them made all around where we're going to be having the building, so we can build mobile manufacturing units too, to put them together on site. So there's a lot of things that we can do to, food, water, power, internet for the world. And out of these buildings, I don't know, Jake, did you receive the PowerPoint that I sent from Fidos?
Would you like to share that PowerPoint, Feline?
Yeah, I sent it to Jake, and he might be sending it on to you this week sometime, but
I got it.
You did? Okay, so through that, over the past 10 years, we've developed strong colleague relationships with all of these manufacturers of the equipment, LED lighting, everything, the control systems, everything that needs to grow food. And of course, building homes is 10 times simpler. You don't have to put all the equipment in there, but the systems are, can be artificial intelligence, can be controlled from anywhere around the world. And that platform that you're looking at through Fidos has a teaching platform in it, communications platform, TV platform. Education's a big thing, because like you said, giving the work to the homeless veterans, children that are impoverished, building cities that are self-sustainable, teaching them how to run those cities and produce their own food has been my lifelong dream. So I guess that's why I'm here. Jake invited me.
What is the in your line of business, let's say the tiny homes, what's the hour timage to actually get one of those built in a let's just say the United States? How many of those can you build in a 2-week span, let's say?
From manufacturing standpoint, at the factory, we could probably do 5,000 a week.
Wow. So,
now that's just the farming box. Now a tiny home, putting all the SIPS panels together, maybe a little longer than that in a week. But yeah, once you ramp up manufacturing, it doesn't take long for them to spit out, because it's like a 3D printer. They have the blueprints and the designs. You put it in and it gets produced right at the factory, packed on a flat pack and delivered to the site to be assembled.
I think Jake told me it's also like color coded, that pretty much anyone could put one of these together when they receive the material.
Well, I mean, we can make it that way. Usually I have installers do my panel systems, because we're doing very large buildings and it has to be license permitted licensed GCs, licensed electricians, licensed plumbers, of course. So, and it has to go by the municipality we're building in. So I've never really done a cookie cutter, but that's easy enough to do with these manufacturing plants that we have relationships with. They just have to have enough business to shut down a line to manufacture.
Well, we got a whole world to fix.
You can ramp up anything to produce as much as we want. Some of our panel manufacturers produce millions of linear feet a day.
Wow.
So, that's not really the issue. The money is always the issue, finding the investment backing. That seems to be, I've been involved in a lot of projects for homeless veterans, for the poor. A lot of people have great ideas, but you really have to find the money to start it off.
Absolutely.
Anything can be done though. Anything can be done, as many tiny homes as we need. We do have, even Jake's brother had master plans of communities already done that we still have the blueprints for, and the layout, the site plans. But I have architects, and I'm sure on your team, you have architects that can put the thoughts down on paper and architectural design and design the city. And then I get the square footage and get quotes on it. And then we pull the money together to get it started, deposits, and for people that need to start working on it.
So you're telling me that a lot of projects cannot be finished or even started because of funding?
Yes.
Wow.
I've had a lot of good intentions. Like Jake knows, a lot of my ex-clients that I've worked with for years, and they've always been told they're going to get the money, they're going to get the financing, and then the investors back out. Green Center Acres in New Jersey is a classic example. She's been at it for 15 years, trying to find investors to do her Green Center Acres, which is a teaching, we bring the kids from the inner cities out to the country, teach them how to grow hydroponics, how to grow mushrooms, how to sustainable living, produce their own food, worms, everything. So it's been hard to find the money for those things because they're not producing revenue, and investors want return on their investment, ROIs. So unless there's a big return for these investors, it's been hard to find them to produce food, especially for the poor. So that's why I'm glad to hear that this company has that in mind, to do things to try to get the money to sustain these communities, to build them and teach them, be able to run the
How many manufacturers are you connected to, you think?
Probably between 75 and 100.
And do you work all over the world or just strictly America?
I've had a lot of clients from the Mideast, and I haven't built in any of them yet, but I have some people that are putting projects together for over there. Yeah. Some investors, connections that I've made through, they've come to me because of my United States patent. And the United States patent proclaims that you cannot buy or sell anything that's produced in my ponic pods in or out of the United States. So you can't take food you produce in overseas and bring it into the United States because you're impending on the patent. But it's only a United States patent, but it is a great idea. And these smart farms can be controlled from anywhere in the world. And that's the future. These smart farms and sustainable living communities like Babcock Ranch down here in Florida, it's the largest solar city planned community in the world. And they're just starting it. They're in phase 1 now. It's amazing. You can look it up, babcockranch.com.
So you're basically, you're a pretty green company, correct?
Yeah, everything's sustainable, green, recycled, everything we use, no wood, very little concrete, only for the foundation and floors. But Jake's brother found some good solutions on even flooring that can surpass concrete in strength. We have companies like that. Again, if it's in the budget, we can build anything. I can pull anybody together to do whatever we want.
Jake had mentioned to me that you actually build fiberglass shells?
Well, they're structurally insulated panels. They can be fiberglass skins with an EPS foam or polystyrene or polyethylene foam core. And those panels are made in a factory and then put together like a tongue and groove on site. So they are like a puzzle piece and they go
That's-
together on site. Yeah,
So,
but
so
they're
basically-
engineered. Everything has to be engineered that's over my ponic pod size, which is a shipping container size. I have those engineered to go out as mobile units. I even can put them on chassis. I ship them all over from California to Arizona to Texas.
So we're looking, number one, you hit everything on the head as far as what we definitely need to build our city to help the homeless. That's really what this started with, is the CEO of our company was talking about, let's get rid of homelessness. Many people have talked about the tiny homes or containers. The fiberglass panels is new. Well, I think Jake was giving me some information on the phone. He said something like a 3,000 square foot shell, just a shell of a home, maybe shelter for someone that just lost their entire home or the city from a bad storm.
Absolutely. One of Jake's connections colleagues from the past, up in Indiana, he's been contacted by FEMA and produces those for disaster areas. So yeah, that's one of our manufacturers.
What's the time it takes to build like a shelter? So let's just say 3,000 square feet.
Well, that's the manufacturer I was talking about that can put out like 5,000 of those shells a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, you know what?
if he gets an order from the government, he can produce like 5,000 a week.
So you're basically my go-to lady when the disaster happens, or even for homelessness, we find acres and you can put up, 5,000 or 6,000 tiny homes in a pretty quick process. And all you got to do is have the funds, correct?
That's right. If you have the money and you have the architects working on those designs and get them engineered and stamped, once they get to my factories, my manufacturers, they can be produced pretty quickly.
Wonderful.
Oh,
Now you guys hear this? This is what I'm talking about. Now I got lucky with this young lady through Jake Fish, who called me the other day. This is the kind of stuff that we need to help fix homelessness. Also structures for maybe Dr. Bill's $3 million building. Okay. Sounds like we could find better ways. There's better ways out there, unique ways. There's millions of ideas running through people's heads right now. I understand that. Feline, number one, I'm extremely excited that you came on and were able to get on the camera.
Hey, Chris, can I ask a question?
Go right ahead, Marty.
Filance, is that how you say your name?
Feline.
Feline,
Yeah.
I got a question. It's very important to me. Where do you keep your cape?
My cape?
Yeah, you gotta be Wonder Woman. I mean, my God.
I thought you were gonna call me a witch.
No, there's other people here for that. No, fantastic. I mean, what you said, you've got the whole ecosystem right there. I mean, it's mind blowing.
We worked
And
hard.
I think because of ONPASSIVE, the finance will not be an issue. We won't have the red tape. It will be, people want to donate. I mean, even if we all put in $1, that's $1 million right now. So you figure 10, 15, I mean, yeah, you blew me away. I mean, I'm leaving.
It's always been,
shut down.
I mean, that's how real estate development is. You get these hotel investors, and we know a lot of those also, go to the networking meetings, and there's unlimited money out there. People have so much money, but nobody wants to do it without a return on their investment.
Exactly.
I've proposed these smart cities, these eco villages for a very long time, and I have a lot of connections and a lot of plans for them, but it's hard to find the money. That's why when Jake said, well, I think we can find the money, I was like, oh, wow, I'm on. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic. Thank you.
I also heard, Feline, that when you found out about ONPASSIVE, that you became a founder today. Is there truth to that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, as soon as he told me about it about a year ago, but I hadn't spoken to him again in quite a while. But yesterday he called, and I was like thinking about it overnight. And then with this meeting today, there's no reason not to jump right in and get to work.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of talking with you because I would invite you on every show that we have. Like I said, we just found our infrastructure and what the possibilities are. We all know, like Marty said, where the funds are going to come from. As we get businesses like this phenomenal company that does this for people, you heard what she said. She's in contact with, 50 manufacturers plus. Imagine all those people finding out about ONPASSIVE, what we really could do for the world. So, Feline, I appreciate your time. I look forward to talking to you very soon. And Lance, I do have the PowerPoint. Actually, maybe in the next couple of weeks, I'd like to have you back every time. Show that PowerPoint. Let's see what you really got. And I know you sent some beautiful pictures and words. I would love people to see that. But I really appreciate you, Jake. I love you for making that call to me. Boy, you hit it right on the head, guys. I'm very excited, Feline. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think we have a superstar. I really do.
Well, I don't know about that.
She
don't
does
welcome her.
have a cape and special powers.
Well, Feline, we're looking
Good
for
job.
unique ideas. And the quicker you can build people's shelters or homes, a lot more can get done. I know we're gonna have the money backing for this. Basically, I know who I gotta go to right now to get this done. And I'm really, really impressed what you just talked about. I think you blew a lot of people away here thinking, wow, see, this is possible. Just look at one lady. One lady came out of the blue, came out of the sky with her cape, as Marty said. She just explained the whole infrastructure for basically just about anything that we need. All right. So now we got engineering, we got manufacturing, we got a dentist. All right. We need educators, but it sounds like Feline's got a lot of that set up in that company also. So very good, Feline. I'm looking forward to working with you.
Me also. Thank you.
Thank you, Jake, and thank you. Jake, do you want to say anything? Why we got you voice working there?
Well, it just, the whole thing with the building of the tiny homes is, okay, you can either build them in the factory and maybe even use AI to do some of the precision cuts with robots. And if you have the slabs all ready to go, you do all the groundwork, the plumbing and all that, get that ready. And then we can build the homes in the factory ready to go. And then, so all you have to do is ship the panels out, put them together, the red screws go in the red holes, so to speak. And I mean, you're under roof with SIPS panels so quick. So that way, while people are finishing up the roof, you have people inside finishing up the inside. So you don't have to worry about rain delays or anything like that.
Wonderful.
Jake,
Well,
I can
You can
have
also, on some of the larger buildings,
I can have a brochure, a PowerPoint
ahead.
sent with different models for all the different tiny homes, because there's several different styles, inside the different layouts and stuff. So I can have that sent to you for your next meeting.
right.
Yep, we can build them right there. And
Yeah, because they don't have to all
utilize
look like
the-
military housing, they can have a little pizzazz.
yeah.
We're going to let Jake make the curtains. Hey, I appreciate you both. Jake, thank you for bringing this young lady to my attention. Feline, congratulations on becoming a founder, and congratulations with helping us build this wonderful city to help poverty, homelessness, whatever comes our way. Like I said, I'm looking forward to working with you. Thank you very
Wonderful.
much, guys.
Thank you.
All right, you heard it. Like,
Thank
Dr.
you, guys.
Bill, you still have your hand up. Do you still want to say something, Dr. Bill? Nope. Tony. No. Okay. Tony Monk, go ahead. I apologize. Thank you for being patient, but I'm glad you all heard that because I was real excited about that.
No, that was fantastic, Chris. Thank you very much for having me on. I appreciate it. And thank you for putting this together. And Feline, you are an angel, seriously, for putting this together. you know, we need the physical, the city's coming together quite nicely already as it is, Chris, you know, with all these ideas, right? We need the physical building blocks, which Feline has pretty much taken care of, but we also need the mental building blocks that Dr. Bill touched on a little bit. I'm a retired registered nurse, and I was also a counselor for people who are developmental disabilities, people that are mentally handicapped. And that's what I did for so many years, for over 30 years, off and on. We need professionals. We need psychiatrists, psychologists. Dr. Bill was talking about dentists. The medical part of it is a huge issue. What I've noticed in the past few years in the city that I live in here is that mentally handicapped people are slipping through the cracks. Okay, and they're out on the street eating garbage and what have you, because they slip through the cracks. So they don't have the mental capability that a normal, I hate that word, but you know what I mean, normal person does in order to go out and get a job. So these people need to be looked after. So we need professionals that are going to diagnose these individuals. We also have mental illness as well. So one size shoe doesn't fit all. We have to make sure that we have the resources to help everybody mentally. And we also have to make sure that the city that we're building is sustainable enough to also create food, just the basic needs that we need, like water, clean water. You said that there's a mayor in this city. Usually if there's a mayor, there's going to be a sitting committee, right? Now we're going to be giving money to the mayor through OBLESS, but now we need to follow up on that money to make sure it's going into the proper hands and going into the proper areas, because a lot of the problem sometimes is that governments will get money from certain agencies, or they're supposed to have money to give to certain agencies, and they use it for self-services instead, right? We need to put people in place that are going to serve the people and not serve themselves. Right. And that's very important. I think that's extremely important. So somebody needs to be on the back end of the receiving part of the finances that are going through. The finance is not a problem. We have the money. With ONPASSIVE, we have the money. We just need to put the physical building blocks together, which we have already with Feline, and the mental building blocks as well with the doctors and psychiatrists and nurses like myself and counselors and people that you need to diagnose these mental illnesses and to find out whether people are capable of either working or not, because a lot of mentally handicapped people cannot work because of their mental abilities, right? So these are the structures that we need in place. So we need somebody, we need a committee, and that could be the angels, Chris. It could be the angels, a committee through the angels that will make sure that the mayor or the mayor's office is distributing this money where it needs to go. Okay, because I've seen a lot of criminal activity in my field. There's an agency that's supposed to be looking after the mentally handicapped, and they fired them all a few years ago because they were putting money in their pockets for bonus, and they weren't putting the money towards where it was supposed to go. So a lot of this goes on. So we need some sort of a committee to make sure that the money is going into the right hands and the structures are being built properly and so on. We have the right people in place. So that's all I wanted to say. My contribution would be as a nurse and as a counselor, and I'd be working with, which I have in the past, with psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, nurses, just to make sure that if these people need certain medications and healthcare, I can help provide that as well. Thank you, Chris.
Wow, thank you, Tony. Excellent, excellent. Love it. Tony's absolutely correct. Everything's got to be watched and OBLESS, guys. You've heard for years, everyone paid $19 a month to this company, and they sent food overseas to some people that are starving, and they found the food rotten in the warehouse. OBLESS, and I'm going to take personal charge of that, and I don't care where I got to go. If Felina's sending houses to Jamaica, for all I care, Philippines. This guy's going to be there to make sure it gets done. Absolutely correct. Where there's bad, where there's good, there's always bad. And that's up to every one of us, committee people, to do the right thing. So Tony, much appreciated. Looking forward to working with you, brother. All right. On that note, I want to listen. We're past the hour. That's okay. If you guys don't mind staying on, I don't have a problem staying on. I want to jump to, because of Tony, what he just talked about, and I'm not picking on specials. I want to go to Novi or Novi. She's in the house, I know, because I know she could touch on some of the stuff Tony talked, and that is mental health, drug addictions. So Novi, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Can you do me a favor? I'm sorry, I just got a phone call and it just interrupted my whole service. Like, you guys are coming in real low. Can you maybe call somebody and reconnect and come back on?
Yeah, go ahead, jump out.
Because
We'll
it's
bring
real
you
low. I
back
can
on, Novi.
barely hear. Yeah,
Chris-
just give me 1
Chris.
second. I'll come right back on, okay?
Okay.
Chris,
Gotcha.
this is
Thank
Judy.
you.
Do you mind if I was up there to go next, but somehow I lowered my hand. I
No,
just wanted to
Judy,
make a couple comments if I could.
Judy, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. It sounds like everything is really working out well with buildings and, the medical, all the different things put together. One of the things that I've noticed about the homeless is that they tend to stick together. So I feel like we need to get a community together. So my vision is kind of like the tiny houses are great, and then your buildings and kind of circular or somehow where it feels like they're in a community and people help each other. We could get volunteers that could come in and do life coaching so that we can find out what is going on with them. Because if they're mentally ill, then we know that they have to go get a medical service. But if they're just people that are down on their luck, or people that have been abused when they were young, or all of the different issues, if you bring them into a community where they feel like they're loved and cared for, and then you teach them how to sew, to do crafts, to do automotive, to do technical kind of things, that gives them something that gives them a purpose, because otherwise they're never really going to heal, because they're just down on their luck and now they're victims. And so to get out of that victimness, you've got to have some reason to want to live and to want to become a better person. So I'm thinking I would love to volunteer, to get volunteers together to do these different things in the community, and even the growing their food, everything, to where they're involved and they're with their friends that they will become friends with. So I say, that part, I really would love to do that.
Absolutely. Sounds like Feline's got to build us another building in our city for an educational building, teaching many, many people. Judy, absolutely love it. I will get with you because I like the idea of building a community. I don't like calling things boards. I don't like that word, board of education. I don't like that. I really
Right.
like the sound of community. So Judy, I will
Yeah.
get with you because I love what you had to say. And I know what you're going to contribute to this wonderful city. Judy, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Miss Novi, I see you're back in the house again. Go ahead.
Yes, hi, good evening, everyone. So again, I'm so grateful to be here with you guys and these topics at hand. And a theme that I find very common, that's with everybody that came here and said something that was that was really, really important. The common thread is about, first of all, transparency. You got to have transparency, like as you mentioned, you mentioned about money going to buy foods overseas, and there's a warehouse with rotten food. How about, at least there was rotten food. There's some places where the money never even went to anything, you know what I'm saying, but to people's pockets, you know what I'm saying, to contribute to their own personal wealth, but I think about having people like Bless, having communities like I live in New York. Okay, for everybody that live in New York, you know what I'm saying, we contribute to a certain kind of program here that has, like, maybe you got to know the resources, because I forgot the gentleman's name, he mentioned it too. Like, you have certain programs that's made to help eliminate wealth, poverty, but yet and still they found the program, the money was going into their pocket. So no, you got to have transparency there, and you got to figure out who's the friends of OPASSIVE, of OBLESS, who's the friends, who's the foes, and who's the frenemies. People that appear to be down with OBLESS, but really they really is to find out what our initiative is and see how they can go against the purpose, because they don't want to see us eliminate poverty. That's not, a lot of people really don't want to see poverty eliminated. You know what I'm saying? It serves a purpose. A lot of people are employed to eliminate, are in places to eliminate poverty. It keeps them working. You know what I'm saying? Like addiction. Let me tell you something. When I was in detox, I went to detox, a bad heroin addiction. I was strung out on heroin, strung out on crack. And I went to I graduated, I have a PhD, I graduated from college with a cum laude. I graduated with a 4.0 GPA from college. You know, I worked in television station, and I relapsed from pain medication. And here I am. That's not what I wanted for my life. So when I relapsed, I was out in the streets. I was living out in the streets, abandoned buildings. I was living like this. And I didn't want this for myself. I wanted to get, my mother was in the streets looking for me. You know, she finally got me, because one thing about addiction, once you start off in that course, it's not an easy course to stop. I found myself in this finally in detox, and I really wanted to get help. And, you know, the people there, they put you in a situation where, so heroin is one of the hardest things to get off. Opiates, as you see, the streets right now is plagued with it right now. It's really, really hard to get off it because it's a physical addiction. A lot of people in the streets right now have this physical addiction with opiates, fentanyl, oxycodone, Xanax sticks, all these things right here, opiates, because once you do a certain amount of time, you are addicted to it physically. And to get off of it, I'm telling you, it's like hell. Trust me, I've been on a floor in Rikers Island in prison, throwing up and vomiting, and because I'm going through withdrawals. And then as soon as you get to the streets, it's let me get to the dealer again, because I want to get straight. So I'm saying, but when I got to the detox, you know, these people, they gave you something only to calm the withdrawals down. But when I left out of there, I said, I'm still sick. Then they supposed to help me get rid of the addiction, you know, to help me with the withdrawal. So I leave out of there clean with a new perspective. I wanted in my mind to be straight, to go on my new path, right? Because I had so many opportunities and offers, but I couldn't, because I still had that addiction. I was still going through it. I was still shaking when I left there. So the only thing I could do was go back to the streets to count me another bag of heroin. And the same thing kept happening over and over and over. And when I went there again, the doctor was like, so you back again? I was like, yeah, I'm back again. I told you that I was still sick. You know, and I had a meeting. I asked, can I talk with you guys? And I really have a talk with you guys. I goes, you guys don't care? Like, you know, let me stay in here longer. No, it's only for a certain amount of time. I go, but I'm still sick. The problem is not fixed. So my point with all that is, and I made them review it. My mother even talked to them. So the thing is this, there's people that don't really care, because you know why? The door's going to open back up. I'm going to go back out there. I'm going to use again. And guess what? I'm going to come back again. That's called job security. And a lot of people in a lot of different places, you know, they depend on people like myself that's an addict. They depend on people, you know, with jails, going back to jail. They put people in a lot of positions where they come out of jail. They're supposed to have programs for people that were formerly incarcerated. A lot of those programs don't work. I've been to those programs too. They don't work. But I'm a person, I have drive and determination. I'm not. So whatever I do, I speak from my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I always say what comes from the heart goes to the heart. And I've helped a lot of people in the streets to get themselves in a better position. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about helping people get up from poverty, you got to have people that's vested in here. Okay? That really care about people, because people have heard it before from other people. They got people that go around New York City in a train station to get people. That's a new initiative, Eric Adams, to get people off the trains. Taking them where? To inside a center and stuff where they're gonna be treated like dirt, because most people don't want to smell them, they don't want to see them, they don't want to talk to them. People need to be assessed. What is their mental problem? Not everybody's gonna go into the same place. Assess what people are mentally. Assess what people are, you know, emotionally, physically. There's so many different needs that need to be met. And if they're gonna do this, we're gonna have to have a program in place to assess people mentally, the emotional problems, the physical problems. Where do they need to go at? Where do we need to start this person off at? And I really suggest that we have mentors, like real mentors that really, really care. So there's going to have certain components. They have to really, really think about structure in this, different structures of this thing right here. It's not going to one thing that's going to solve it all with this. You have to have several components and the social workers and all that. But you got to have people on the ground. I mentioned something about angels. You got to have people on the ground that really, really care and go, no. I know. There's been people before, but this is different. This is like nothing you've ever heard. Okay, and you got to have people on the ground that's tried and tested. I'd be glad to interview people like myself to help get people off the streets, that like people like myself to talk to people on the streets that, show them, no, this is different. Come on, we got you. We got you. And those tiny houses, those tiny house programs, they work, but it has to be incentives too to help people see, no, you're going to have to put some work in here now. You know what I'm saying? We're going to invest in you, but we need you also to invest in you. And sometimes some people, they so gone mentally, they can't even interpret that. So we got to get people their health together first here. We got to get them right here. You know what I'm saying? People, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much, right?
No. You're hired.
Oh.
All right. Sounds like you know who to look for. You've lived it. I'm thank God every day to see people like you that went through something like that and actually openly talk about it. You're the kind of person that I want, because you've already lived that life. You knew how to change your life. And I really believe you have the ability to change other people's lives. So Novi, looking forward to working with you. I appreciate you, what you just told us. And I'm happy for you. I really am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Jane Helms, you want to unmute yourself, please?
Hi there, everybody.
Howdy.
Wow, has this been incredible? And you've hit on, let me see if I can get my video started here. Sorry about that. Anyway, you've hit on just about everything I made notes on. I mean, this is just great. And I love this. I mean, the tiny houses, the 3D houses, everything. I was married to a contractor for 30 years, so we had a company. So I have 30 years of construction. My actual background, though, is in psychology. And then I was a headmistress for a school for children for learning disabilities. So I have a real heart for that. Plus, I have a lot of family members who are veterans too. And I know what, sometimes the veterans go through also. So, I mean, this is hitting on everything. And Novi just hit on some things that I think are just incredible. Dr. Bill did. If we can utilize our strengths, and there's so many talented people here. I'm just blown away by all these talented people. And it's like, we need to take, hold of that, take hold of our strengths, say, here's what someone's good at, and put them in that slot so that they can help other people. And sometimes it takes, kind of a balance too of someone who is a good overseer, who is someone a good oversight and can, help other people come into fulfillment of what they need to be doing to help this whole mission, and there's kind of a good balance between the accountability, responsibility, and a good mix between doing that and also being a good cheerleader for everybody else. Dude, does that make sense? I hope it does. But I'm hoping that, it's like, that we can glean and help other people by, really seeing what the circumstances are. I mean, how we're going to deal with someone who's lost their job and are, upset about that and very depressed about that, as opposed to someone who has gone through a catastrophe like a tornado or a hurricane and have lost their home and all their belongings and that type of thing. And veterans who are, are suffering with PTSD. There's so many areas here that I think we can touch on, that is aids to poverty and depression and all the other stuff that we want to hit on. And it just sounds like we can do that. And I'm hoping that in some way, that I can be part of this and really, be a good, whatever you need for me to be.
Jane?
Yes.
What do you think you can contribute to this City of Angels? Tell me what you think you can contribute to it.
Well, I have right brain, left brain too. So, I mean, I've done all of it, you know, with the administration, with the children with learning disabilities, those constructions, the tiny houses. I've had some, you know, background in that. So I really would love to do a lot of different things. Some I can do some administrative. So, you know, it's kind of like plug me in where you need me, you know, type of thing.
Absolutely. Jane, it
Yes.
sounds like you're a master of many things. So I'm looking
Unfortunately,
forward-
yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, you're an educator. I think you're also a good entertainer because you're smiley. You're that cheerleader type. And you have business background. You have manager background. You can be used, not used, let me say that. You could definitely help in many areas. And I'm looking forward to working for you, Jane. And thank you very much for letting us know about this.
Thank you so much. I mean, what a blessing it is for all of us, right? So
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, we're gonna run this to 11 o'clock tonight, which is a little more than a half hour. And like I said, if I don't get everyone's hands, I'm gonna write a list down of the hands that were still raised. And next Tuesday, I will continue in that same order because I want to be fair about it. But I'm trying to get to everyone, try to keep it, you know, if you can get everything out in 4 or 5 minutes would be great because I really want to get to some people. After Gladys, I'm going to do Gladys, Della, and then I'm going to jump down to Tina because I talked to Tina quite a long time on the phone and I want you to hear what she's got to say. But Gladys, please unmute yourself. So very nice to see you.
Thank you so much, Chris, for having me and for everyone who is here tonight. This is an important topic. And what I can do is from the passion, because I've seen, having worked as a registered nurse and I'm still active, I see that many homeless people end up coming to the hospital because they are not able to keep up with their doctor's appointments, take their medications, and live in a way that they can try to control lifestyle diseases. So what I can contribute to the Angel City as a registered nurse, I can practice in 38 states, but I realize Michigan is not one of the states listed, but I can get the license for Michigan within a month. It's not difficult. And then I know we have many nurses likely from Michigan who can be on the ground, but I can help with screening and interviewing the people that we are intending to bring to Angel City to make sure that there are people who will not end up being a liability in terms of safety. Most of these homeless patients, and we think that nobody cares about them truly until something wrong happens with them. Then the state will come in, the city will come in, and that can be a big liability. So I will help in screening them, working together with the social workers to make sure that we admit the right people to our city. And I can also help in educating them about preventive care in terms of how they can prevent the diseases and how to change the lifestyle and keeping up with the doctor's appointments. I can even help in scheduling the appointments for them. So I really look forward to work with the social workers like Amanda, your daughter, she's a social worker, so that if we have 1 or 2 nurses on site, we can work telephonically. Like now I live in North Carolina, but I work for a hospital in New Jersey. So we can work telephonically as long as we are licensed to work in Michigan, helps giving support to the nurses who are on the ground to help in, disease prevention, medication compliance, and doing everything to help them health-wise. That's what I believe that I can participate in. Thank you.
I don't even have to ask you the question because you just said law, Gladys. Remember, we're going to start this in Michigan. Once we get this city built and organized and find out it's working really, really good, we're going to blueprint it and we're going to put it throughout the world, state to state, country to country. And I'm really looking forward to working with you, Gladys. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Della, and then I'm going to have Tina after Della, and I'll go back to Brucey.
Well, Captain CJ, I hope I'll be hard tonight. Good evening, everyone. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Oh, Della, we can hear you. You've been asking me that question for 9 months. I can always hear you. Go ahead.
Because my laptop is sometimes, when I have videos. So my contribution is for the children. This is really me. Children is my passion, kids, so I can educate them. I am a zone therapist. At the same time, I graduated biology in the University of Civil Doctors in the Philippines. And I've been being with kids since my life, since I was a teenager and until I got married. And I serve the youth in my community, in our church, and in our Brotherhood of Christian Businessmen and Professionals, the rich children. And we have this group, and I have this ability to teach the children because the children are very innocent, and whatever you offer them love naturally, they'll listen to you and they get your energy. It's just the way I serve them. And before I have this ONPASSIVE, I already have a founder, my best friend, with a 10, more or less 10 hectares that we plan to harvest, but we didn't have resources. But right now we planted fruits and vegetables in our country. And so if I can do that, I will tell her, because she's not active. I am even managing her account. But it is what we plan for that 10 hectares, more or less, for that. So ONPASSIVE really is a blessing to me, Chris. So I would like to volunteer, of course, all my life until I die to teach zone therapies. For 30 years, I've been doing that. The ancient, do you know that, foot reflex? And I'm doing that here in the United States too, but I closed it because of the pandemic. So I have that ability. I'm a very natural person. I don't take medicine. So this is the only thing that I do for people, prevention of sickness. It's not for healing, but prevention. And thank God I'm successful on this. So I hope I can serve this in my own way. Thank you.
Absolutely, Della. Thank you very much. Definitely need people working with children. There's a lot of kids that don't have parents, or maybe they do and they're just not around. We need some good moral support for them. And when I say moral support, I mean really moral support. When it comes to that situation with children, I believe we got to let these kids know that, hey, we care. We got to show people we care. We can't treat people disrespectful. And kids see that at a very young age. And sometimes they learn it from even their parents, and they take that the rest of their life. So educating children, especially in a poor situation or a poverty situation, is a must. You show someone love, especially a child, they're going to grow faster than anyone in the world. So Della, thank you. Looking forward to working for you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you very much. Tina, Bruce, be a gentleman. Tina, I want to hear what you have to say, because I know we've talked the last couple nights, Tina. And then I'm going to go to Polly Cherry. Is Polly on here? I know she's got a big thing. And then I'm going to go back in the order again. So Tina, Polly, then we'll go to Mary, Bruce, and then Bruce. Go ahead, Tina.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, everyone from all over the world. On the beautiful ONPASSIVians here, we're all blessed, aren't we? I do not have any of those certifications like nursing or doctors or anything. I'm just a blessed lady who wants to see beautiful things happen in the world. I'm usually get very excited because I am the rah-rah kind of person that Chris is looking for. I've been an entertainer, I've been this thing, but I am a certified life coach and career coach. Well, when Chris spoke to me and told me, look, you got a 10-acre land. What would you put in it. So I'm not gonna this thing, but I'm gonna read what I shared with him. Feline, definitely fiberglass buildings. We're talking about cluster homes, but here in Singapore, we're very land scarce, so our buildings go up. And what I envision is a condominium style that we have here in Singapore, or the community that our public housing has put in place as well. So the houses go up. It is a community where we have things that are going around within the community. I'll just read, like I said, I just read what I have written to see. We're looking at hydroponics and sustainability for food, the land for agriculture and animal farm, solar panels to run and generate clean energy, and also the water system for the community. And it can be on top of, if it's a cluster home, the panels can be on top of the homes. If it's an apartment building, it can also be on the rooftop, because if you have a few blocks of the apartment buildings, you can use the rooftops for the panels. And in between the floors, you can actually have, for community activity, you can actually have what Feline was said, I can't remember who said that, with regards to smart farms. You can have a level of smart farms where the community can come in and do those farming as well. Schools definitely part of the infrastructure, but more importantly, the schools must have the programs in it. Novi, I love what you said. People have got to understand people in poverty, especially those who have been in poverty for generations. There's something that goes on and helping. So the school programs have got to put in sustainability for the future as well. Promoting sustainability through outreach to the community for awareness, common community facilities within that condominium, that area. You got to have gymnasium, sports, rehabilitation, for rehabilitation and also for recreations. At the same time, the programs I was looking at are skills training and development for employment and for entrepreneurship. Create career fairs for the people who need jobs, collaborate with corporates under the community social responsibility projects, where the corporates can give scholarships or taking the students for internship for future employment. The volunteers, definitely volunteers in all of the areas. Psychology, pediatrics, gerontology, everything that a person, but most importantly, life coaches and career coaches who can help them pathway and help with the self-healing and self-development in that area. Also, in terms of people who are incarcerated, we can do what we can do is we have programs for skills training, get them to do something so that they can have the self-worth and get themselves assimilated to the society as someone who can contribute back. We have that here in Singapore, and I'm so glad we can call it a white ribbon project or something like that. The inmates, before those who are about to release, can get certifications in life coaching. That's a good area for them, because they've been in there with the heart, and also in fitness, because they do that while they're in there, they keep themselves fit. So out there they can get certifications and go out and get mentorship with the companies or fitness centers that have there, to get them come in, mentor them, and then if they want to start their own fitness centers, they can go ahead. So we're looking at what I'm looking at is really empowering the people in poverty to be able to discover the self-worth and get assimilated to society. And for all you know, definitely they'll definitely contribute back to the society themselves. Thank you very much. That's where I have at the moment. Chris?
Tina, that was a lot real quick, Tina. Thank you very much. I have you all documented. A lot of you have sent me stuff. I'm saving it all. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I have a lot of people that I have to call back. But Tina, looking very forward to working forward to you. And remember, guys, as we build this in Michigan, start off, there will be different rules and regulations to every country, but I promise you, we will work around those rules because nothing is going to stop ONPASSIVE. And Tina said everything's built up. Well, she's in the right company because ONPASSIVE is just going straight up. So, all right, I want to call Polly Cherry, and then I'm going to go back to the order because I know Polly is also another angel who does things way before anyone ever asked her. But Polly, go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me here, Chris. Okay, so there are a few things I truly, truly love doing in the community. And like Chris said, I've been doing it for so many years. I stopped working in the corporate about 2 years ago. So I have a lot more time on my hands. I don't like to be bored. So the best way I can give back is serving the homeless. So one of the things I'm doing right now is I work for, I volunteer in a homeless community. And I wake up about 4 o'clock in the morning and I go and I serve them breakfast. And some of these clients, once again, you don't even know their background and their mental, situation. So just by saying good morning to them, how are you? Did you have a good sleep? That truly puts a smile on their face. And once I ask them that question, they'll smile. Then I serve them their breakfast, and say, have a good day. So I do that about 3 or 4 times a day in different homeless communities. And I really, truly enjoy it. Okay, so my contribution is maybe in this city that we're building, Chris, we'll have restaurants, of course, right? And I would like to be able to, serve maybe breakfast. Actually, breakfast is my favorite. So I will serve in the breakfast, in the dining room, because I truly love to meet people, talk to them, and treat them like a human. They are human, just like us. It doesn't matter, what background they come from. They are human beings. Okay, so that's one thing, Chris. So you can put me down for that. Another thing.
Go ahead, Polly, hold on. Before you say that, you made an excellent point that a lot of people don't see. In this city, everyone's going to feel normal, even when they don't think they are. So a lot of love has got to go into this. Restaurants, you realize there's some people that's never even been in a restaurant. So excellent point, Polly. Go ahead. I apologize.
It's okay, no problem. And another thing, I love fashion. So we also need a fashion department or a clothing department, right? So I would like to be one of the person that, when they come into the department, Chris, service them, find out, what they like and dress them up, so like a little, well, I was going to say like a Barbie doll, but scratch that, you know what I mean? Just, help them in that way, because also what I'm doing is I volunteer at my church. Every Monday I go there, right? And I'm in charge of the clothing department. So they would come in and they're able to choose free whatever items they like, and every week they look forward, to coming there, and they can come every week to choose clothing items. Sometimes it's sad because we don't have enough clothing, for kids or for larger size, no offense to anyone, larger size, clients. So that kind of breaks my heart. So definitely that's the need too as well, right? So.
Absolutely. Polly, I think you're an inspiration. I think you know how to bring people up even when they're at their lowest moment. So someone said it the other day, and I forget who said it. It was Mike Ellis. He said that Ashmafar is a server of people. I believe that many of you on here are that same way, but Polly, that really shines in you, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. Thank you very much, Polly Cherry. All right. let's go back to Brucey. Go ahead. I apologize for jumping on the line, guys. I'm trying to get everyone in. We got like little less than 15 minutes. So Brucey, go ahead, but I'll get everyone on every week who doesn't talk. I promise I'll get you in there to talk. Go ahead, Bruce. Brucey, you haven't trip. Bruce, you want me to come back to you, Bruce? Wave your hand if you want me to come back to you. Okay. Mary Bruce, you any relation to Bruce? Mary Bruce? Go ahead, Mary. What you got to bring to the table?
No, I come from a different country and everything. I'm down here in Australia. Just very quickly, my history is cosmetics, has been for many years. I grew up in the industry, and my contribution to our beautiful city would be so teaching self-esteem. That entailed a lot of beauty therapy that I did, and well, I worked all over the world with it. But people, people lack a lot of self-esteem, and I think there's a big need to rise people up spiritually and through books and self-esteem, telling everybody every day that they're lovely, they're beautiful, look in the mirror, you're beautiful, that sort of thing. Also in our lovely city, so I'd love a school with that, where we'd help with beauty. Beauty's part of it, beauty, fashion. Polly, I think you and I could do well there. Beauty, beauty, fashion, self-esteem classes, teaching makeup. It's all really important to a lot of people, and for men, just general self-esteem. They're getting bashed about emotionally as well. And also the other thing is animals. Animals are really, really important in self-esteem for people. They actually sort of help to heal people. It's really, really interesting. But if you're not well, or you've got somebody that's not well, and you give them a wee dog, wee cat, wee bird, something, the difference is astounding. So I would like that in our city. Anyway, that's my contribution.
Hey,
and
I
I'd
love
love to
that.
be a big part of that.
Absolutely. Mary, you said it right. Because one thing you didn't say, but I know you would have said it, animals are one of the most healing things for many people. A lot of facilities bring in animals to mentally disturbed children, or maybe kids that have cancer, and they're excellent. It's a healing process. So definitely, you got to remember, Bless is for every situation out there that you could think of that needs help. Animals need help. I know the whales need help.
They do. That's the other thing, Chris. That was the other thing I was going to say. We could have another building and help these poor, or a paddock, a farm thing, where we could help all the animals, these poor animals that are, starving and.
You know what? It sounds like Felina's got a lot of work to do.
Yes.
Mary,
We'll
thank
get
you
it
very
going.
much. Looking forward to actually getting to Australia and helping you out. I know you do have a lot of brush fryers in Australia, and it sounds like we have a young lady down there we're going to call her FL, Felina, all right, who's going to be able to ship some tiny houses for people that just lost everything. So, Mary, thank you very much. All right, Bruce, are you ready, Brucey?
I hope so. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I can hear you, brother. You go right ahead.
Great. I want to thank Novi and Feline for what they had to say. And I'm thinking, in addiction, when you ask for help, and you ask for help from your heart of hearts, you get it. And it's the same with OBLESS. We've asked for our heart of hearts for something to happen so we can bless people. And Feline, you are the answer to our prayer, because you're the one who has most of the solutions for the infrastructure or what needs to be done here, more than anybody else who I heard speak tonight. And I know that it takes much more than just feeding people. because you really need, somebody said I have to get closer to the mic. I'll try to speak up more. How's that better?
Hear you, Bruce. Go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, you know, it takes a lot of administration things. It takes a lot of coordination. I think it was you, Chris, who mentioned something about paying the mayor, but they also have something else in recovery. It's called cooperation and not affiliation. And so we're blessed to never be affiliated with an organization such as a government. Because if we do, what happens is our monies gets clogged down. And ONPASSIVE must be in charge of all monies that go through All Bless. And I think that's something that Ash knows for sure too. But you know, there's a lot of things that I have the ability to have people open up to me, and I'm very good with people. I'm not a mechanic, I'm not an engineer. I'm just somebody who cares genuinely about people and we can help. I know one thing about poverty. If you're born in poverty, you probably believe that's where you deserve to be. And this is about ONPASSIVE. It's about uplifting the human spirit. And so this is about uplifting people. Many people don't feel they have a worth if they're not doing something. So never think that we should just feed somebody. Somebody always has to cooperate and work for what it is they want. There's a lot of people who are homeless who end up expecting things, always expecting things. And this is not about people expecting things. It's about people saying that something is given to me and I must be grateful for this and I must help out. But this is about people helping people. This is not about, oh, bless helping people. This is still, oh, bless is people. Oh, bless is people. It doesn't come the other way around. And the other thing about homelessness is you can feel homeless even if you have a home. You can feel worthless even if you have a lot of money. And, you know, Tina talked about life coaching, and I've certainly helped a lot of people throughout the world in having hope and having their solutions that they find that they have no ways out of where they are. But there's always a way out. This is about teaching people the way out. We have many different programs in ONPASSIVE that are all going to be implemented for people. There will be people who are homeless who are incredibly talented people. They just happen to be in a situation where they can't get out of. And many of the programs that we have will help stimulate a lot of those people to be there. And a lot of great things are going to happen. And it always takes, you know, I see one building that has many functions. It can be divisions of it. It can be many different things. It doesn't matter what I think. What matters is what the experts think. Because I'm basically stupid when it comes to how to make. I can't do plumbing. I can't do electricity. I can't do any of those things. I need an expert for that. Dr. Bill had talked about, you know, a lot of the health things and the dentistry and all that. And all that has to be taken care of. There isn't a single thing that does not need to be taken care of. There is a saying that always says, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. Well, that health includes your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health. And those are the things we uplift here in ONPASSIVE. So however this is going to work, we're going to do great. We don't have to worry about, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Everybody has to listen to what it is their heart tells them to do for the good of humanity when it comes to ONBLESS and ONPASSIVE. So
Absolutely.
I wouldn't know I should shut up because there's a lot of people who should not hear. Thank you for letting me circle. I hope I was clear and to the point.
You were good, Brucey. Thank you. Listen, you're definitely going to be one of those people at the front door. because you're an excellent person. You got a big heart. And definitely right around December 25th, I got a real good job for you. You got to wear a red suit, though, with that beard. All right, Bruce. Thank you. Okay, we got a couple minutes left. I'm going to let 2 more people talk, but don't no one leave yet. I want to take a picture of all the hands that are up so I have a running order for next week. So Sylvia, very patiently, thank you for waiting, guys. I apologize, but you're a lot of good stuff. Sylvia, go ahead. Say what you got. What are you going to contribute, Sylvia? I know what you got. Tell us.
Okay, Chris, you just got me. Thank you so very much. This is a great webinar with a lot of inspiration and motivational thought. And I'm going to quote Bond who said that ending poverty is not about, helping the people. It's about, creating the community, a great community. So through Obless, I'm pretty sure that we're going to do it. I'm looking at the human being like, on his holistic approach, meaning what we need to look at the man like a whole. We need a physiological aspect, psychosocial, emotional. So Obless will help us, give us already the tools, to come up with the physical need, the basic needs, which are shelter, food, and so on. Now, as a registered nurse, my contribution will be to look at the psychosocial aspect, because we have a lot of people stressing out there because maybe mental issue, or maybe they don't know about themselves, they don't know what to do, who to see, and so on. So that is going to be one of the points that I'm looking forward to work with you, with the Angel, Chris. So, as a nurse, the main part is teaching and educating. I would love to teach and educate, providing support to the needed, make them aware of the state of health, because many don't know where to address the problem. So I'll be eager to listen to them, to work with the team, the collaborative team, like, social worker, case manager, and, everybody, so we can come up together and help a human being, on his entire health issue. So that is going to be one of my main focus, not the least. Of course, we have a lot of work to do, but I will be willing to help in that point, the healthcare and teaching, educating, working with social worker, collaborating. Thank you so very much to end there. Thank you, Chris.
Sylvia, thank you. Definitely looking forward to working for you with all your talents. You're going to be a big help in just about everything we do in this city. So looking forward. All right, we're going to do one more. Rob, I apologize, but remember, I'm keeping to my word. I got pictures of all the hands up. I'm going to let Rob will be the last one. And guys, I really didn't think there'd be this many hands up, but I'm not going to say I'm mad about it. I'm loving it. So I promise next week it'll start with Musharraf Hussain. So Rob Gorman, you go right ahead, and you're the last speaker for the night. And thank you.
Okay, it's my honor to speak to everybody. I have 45 years of logistics experience and expertise. That's what I bring to the table. I'm going to help ONPASSIVE in our virtual world and then our real world move everything, whether it be food, water, people, small houses, big houses, whatever you got, we can get it moved. I can negotiate contracts. I can make sure that trucks, trailers are where they need to be. And I'd love to have that opportunity someday as we go. I think without logistics, nothing's going to happen. So we need to have money, and then the logistics, and then good things are going to happen for everybody that needs it.
Rob, you're hired.
Well, being retired, thank you. I need a job.
Yeah, you look awfully familiar to me. You want to tell everybody who you are?
Rob Gorman, and I'm lucky enough to be married to Miss Lynn Nakamoto.
I thought that was you. Rob,
it's me.
I'm definitely looking forward to working with you. I had the honor of talking to you on the phone last week when we had our situation, and you helped out big time, and I know what you can do. And I'm excited to meet all of you, but Rob, we're gonna have a cup of coffee someday and have a really good talk about all this. I appreciate you. Okay, guys.
Thank you.
I only was supposed to do an hour. We did 2 hours. I want to apologize to all the people that still have their hands. I have your picture. Okay. It's late. I know some people have to go to work tomorrow. I appreciate every one of you. Next week, 9 o'clock, we'll be doing the same thing. I'm going to ask you this. There's a couple people that I didn't get to that I wanted to hear speak, which was Daryl Cook, Janet Butler. I apologize, guys. I will get you in that lane next week and we'll get it going. But any one of you know anybody that know like a Feline, all right, or a Polly Cherry, and they've dealt with homelessness and poverty. I want to hear them. I want to hear what they have to say, but I definitely want to hear what you all have to say. I appreciate you. I love you. We're going to actually do this. Now we're going to go all the way to the top, but we're going to take a bless farther than the top. Remember, we already know we're part of a business that's going to make history. All right. We're going to change history. We're not going to let it repeat itself anymore. Let's go forward and keep going. I love every one of you. And again, I apologize. I will get to you guys next week. And let's keep this going. You guys have a wonderful evening. Unmute yourselves and say your good night.
Love you too, Chris. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
So much. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye from Houston, Texas.
Canada.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Tina.